All right. So let's talk about dropping chunks of time off the 5K with your high school boys, high school girls cross country, college women cross country, college men track and field. If you're training for a 5K, and even plan on moving up to the 6K, or because you have to, or you want to, or you just want to test your 8K as well, you can do all these things. I want to give you the paces that'll really help you get there. Paces for certain workouts. Okay, and again, if you're a coach or an athlete, you haven't subscribed to this channel, please hit that subscribe button. Okay, and please, if you enjoy the content enough to come back, please hit that like button as well. Anybody has any questions about this stuff, my email is blackbeltrunningcoach@gmail.com. Just reach out to me. I will respond to my emails. Again, blackbeltrunningcoach@gmail.com. And again, so we're talking about today how to drop times, and we're going to work away from 20 minutes down to 14 minutes, and the paces that you can utilize for workouts to get you to the next milestone. So if you're at 20, what do you need to do to get to 19? If you're at 19, what do you need to do to get to 18, and so on? You're at 16, what do you need to get to 15? 15, what do you need to get to 14? Okay, let's get right into this. And again, as always, a good warm-up, drills and strides. I encourage folks to do a couple of transitional 200s. If it's a tempo run, or if the longer reps in the workout, do a couple of 200s to find the pace in the workout before you start the workout. Okay, that way you're not looking for it in the workout, puts you 2 steps ahead. Or if you do some shorter, faster stuff at mile pace, okay? Also, maybe a longer tempo rep, just one, 800, 1200, whatever you want to do. Mile tempo pace to elevate the heart rate to make it easier to take advantage of the shorter, faster stuff. Because if you improve your mile, you're going to improve your 2 mile. If you improve both of those, you're going to improve your 5K. So some of these paces are going to be shorter and faster than 5K pace. Some of them are going to be longer and slower than 5K pace, okay? Let's get right into this, okay? 20 minutes. Okay, you'll see T, that means tempo run. So for 20 minutes, your tempo run, you want to be locking into 7:01 to 7:02 per mile. You want to build that towards 20 minutes at the minimum. Some people can build it towards 25. You build towards 25. But 20 minutes would be the minimum, okay? Then the workout, another workout you can do is 5 times at 1200 with a 230 recovery. This is at 5K pace. So you're looking to run these in 447 to 448 per rep. Or 5 times a K with a 2-minute recovery at 5K pace, also at 3:59 to 4 minutes. If you times 4 minutes by 20, look, I mean by 5, you're at 20 minutes. So it just shows you you're right on 5K pace. Now, 5 times in 800 meters, that's going to be a 3K pace or 2-mile pace, 2-mile recovery, 2-minute recovery. You're looking at 306 to 307. And again, you're building towards these numbers over time. Okay, and then on the bottom, 5 times a 500. Okay, this is a little bit longer than 400. Okay, but a 90-second recovery at 147 to 148 per rep. And again, these are the mile equivalents, so the 2-mile equivalents to a 20-minute 5K. And if you want to know what the equivalents are, I've got videos on this channel that show what paces, if you what are the equivalents if you run such and such for the mile. And it tells you what your 3K, your 2-mile, your 5K equivalents are, 800, 400. So take a look at those. Okay, now for 19 minutes, the tempo is at 642 to 643 per mile. 1,200 reps are at 434 to 435 per rep. Same recovery, times 5. The 1K reps, 347 to 348, times 2. 5 reps. 2-minute recovery. Okay, and then 800-meter reps, 2-minute recovery at 3K pace, 257 to 258. And then the 500-meter reps, times 5, 90-second recovery, at 143 to 144. So you'll see it slightly get faster again. And if you can do a little bit more, 1.5 miles worth of volume at mile pace, that's good. If you can do upwards of 3 miles at 2-mile pace, that's good. If you can get up to upwards of 3 miles or 4 miles worth of volume at 5K pace, that's good. That's what you want to progress towards. Okay, so the 5 times 1200, you see that's 6K worth of volume. 5 times 1K is 5K worth of volume. So I'm giving you both, depending on whether you can handle it. If you have some athletes who might need a little bit less, there you go. You have both. Now for 18 minutes, you look at it 622 to 623 per mile. For the tempo, same, building towards 20 minutes, 25 max. The 1,200 meter reps times 5, 230 recovery at 420 to 421 per rep. 5 times 1K 2-minute recovery at 335, 336. And again, if you multiply, you go 336 times 5, 18 minutes. You go 335 times 5, 1755. So it gives you a little bit of cushion. Okay, 5 times 800, 2-minute recovery at 3K pace. That should say 247, 248. My apologies there. 247, 248, not 27. And then 5 times 500 with a 90-second recovery at mile pace, 137 to 138 per rep. Can you take the 90-second recovery? So at this point, when you're looking to increase your 5K, the reps are a little bit longer than 400. I did a video recently about 3K pace with a couple of workouts, or 2 mile, how to improve your 2 mile. The shorter reps are 400 meters. So you see the difference between 4 and the 500s. Okay. Now let's progress to the next batch. 17, 16, 15 minutes. So for 17-minute 5K, you're looking at 603 to 604 per mile for the tempo run. Same distance, same time frame. And again, you're building towards 20 to 25 minutes. I have videos on here that show you how to build towards 20, 25 minutes from scratch. That way you don't feel like you need to go out of the door right now and hit that. Because some people try to do that, they'll fall apart. It can be very discouraging. It can be also counterproductive. So there's a way you can build into it over time, which is a smarter way to do it. Gives your body a chance to adapt. Okay, 5 times 1200, 230 recovery, 405 to 406 per rep. 5 times a K, 2-minute recovery, 323 to 324 per rep. 324 times 5 is 17 minutes. 5 times an 800, 2-minute recovery at 3K pace, 237 and 238. 5 times 500, mile pace, 90-second recovery, 131 to 132 per rep. Okay, that's about what? About 450 mile pace, right around there. 448 to 450. Now 16 minutes. Tempo run, 543 to 544 per mile. 5 times 1200, 230 recovery, 351 to 352 per rep. 5 times 1K, 2-minute recovery, 311 and 312 per rep. 312 times 5, 16 minutes. Okay. 5 times 800, 2-minute recovery at 3K pace, 228 to 229. Now you're hovering just under 5 minutes. 5-minute pace for 3K or 2 miles. 5 times 500, 90-second recovery at mile pace, 126 to 127. Okay. Now you're getting a little bit quicker here. Okay. Now 15 minutes. Tempo run, 523 to 524 per mile. Same 20, 25 minutes. It's always going to be a 20-minute minimum. You want to at least get to 20 minutes over time. 5 times 1200, 230 recovery, 336 to 337. Now you're looking at sub 450 pace. Okay. Like 448 pace, which is essentially the same thing as 15 minutes. 5 times 1K, 2-minute recovery, 259 to 3 minutes. 3 minutes times 5, 15 minutes. 5 times 800, 2-minute recovery, 3K pace, 218 to 219. Now you're looking at sub 440 per mile. Okay. And then 5 times 500, 90-second recovery. Now you're looking at 120 to 121 per rep. This is sub 420 per mile. Okay. 120 is 64 per rep. Okay. And 121 is 64, 65. And lastly, 14 minutes. Okay. Tempo run, building towards 503 to 504 per mile. 5 times 1200, 230 recovery, 321, 322. That's sub 430 pace. About 428 pace. 5 times 1K, 2-minute recovery, 247 to 248. 248 times 5, 14 minutes. 5 times 800, 2-minute recovery at 3K pace or 2-mile pace, 209 to 210, about 420 per mile pace. And lastly, 5 times 500, 90-second recovery at mile pace, 115 to 116 per rep. Now you're looking at pretty much hovering around 401 to 402 per mile. So those are the paces associated. Now, you can add threshold reps, which are about 8 to 10 seconds faster per mile than tempo runs. Okay, with 1-minute recoveries, you can add critical velocity, which is slightly faster. And I've recently done tempo, showing videos showing the difference between tempo, threshold, and critical velocity, and the pace differential between them. So take a look at those videos as well. I've got tons of content on here that you can mix and match, and you can reference this and reference that. And you can use this stuff to fill out your training or build out your training for your athletes at the way you see fit. Okay, so I wanted to get you this because this is more 5K focused. And this shows you I've done minute increments, right? From 20 to 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. And you'll see the differences, right? From 5K, and then you see, okay, am I progressing? Is my mile where it should be based on my 5K? Is my 3K or 2 mile should be based on my 5K, right? And this gives you a lot of intel. Are my tempo runs where they should be? If not, how do I modify this stuff? How do I enhance in certain areas of the training? That's why I give a mile time trial and I give you 2 mile and 5K equivalents and 800 and 400. That way you can tell if you're closer to the longer stuff than the shorter stuff, equivalence, then that's a sign to improve your speed development. If you're closer to the shorter stuff than the longer stuff, that's a sign to improve your aerobic development, VO2 max. Okay, so it tells you a lot about where your training is, where your fitness is, and how you can enhance it. Okay, if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Put some comments in here. Send me an email. I wish I got more comments. So if you see this video, you have questions, put them in the comments so I can answer them. But I understand if people don't want some of the questions being seen and would rather have their answers answered in private again, which is fine too. Like I said, my email is blackbeltrunningcoach@gmail.com. So have a great day. Have a great season, gang. It's cross country here. Hope you're healthy. Hope your athletes are healthy. Let's get after it. Peace. I'll see you next time.